Welcome back to the channel. So several weeks ago, back in October, we had Rich from River City Pen Company on the podcast. And one of the things he talked about was his hand-turned nib holders, which I've seen at pen shows before and I thought were super cool. Tori from Stationery Universe carries some in her shop, so that's where I'd seen them. And when we were in town for Scriptus, I was scrolling Facebook Marketplace and happened upon somebody who was selling one. So it came home with us. And honestly, I don't know that I could have ended up with a more me blank if I had sent Rich a blank myself. It is pink, it is purple, it is blue, it is fabulous, it is super sparkly. And I am so excited because I've really wanted one of these Kakimori nibs and nib holders for a while. But even the Kakimori nibs themselves are fairly expensive here. And I was able to get both the pen holder and the nib for an incredibly good price. So we're going to play around with this today. I will say I'm not particularly good at using a Kakimori nib yet, and I'm definitely going to have to practice with it a bunch, but they are super fun to use. There are a couple of really cool things about this nib holder. First being that it uses a vinyl insert so it won't rust, and it fits size 6 nibs, and it also fits vintage calligraphy nibs and modern calligraphy nibs. So on top of being able to use it with your Kakimori nibs and your calligraphy nibs, you can use it with any of your fountain pen size 6 nibs that you already have in your collection, which for me makes this such a useful tool. I've started to grow my collection of size 6 nibs quite a bit, and it's nice to be able to dip test them without necessarily putting them in a pen. So, it's so pretty. He does have a whole bunch of them in his shop currently, and I will leave a link to it below. You can also buy the nibs through him, and I will leave that down below. But for now, we're going to get into playing with it. I've pulled 2 inks that really shade and sheen. I guess they really shade. Neither sheens very much. So we have Sailor Mano Nekogani, which is one of my favorite purples. And then we have Warengall Robin Crusoe, which is a fairly new addition to my ink collection, but I've really been enjoying it. So let's start with the purple because I think it deserves some love. I haven't used it recently. I've been using other purples in my collection, but as I said, I have no skills with this nib currently. Like there's so many ways to use them, but there does seem to be such like a learning curve to using them. So much fun. Like, it's just fun to play with ink and fun to play with color. So let's clean this nib and test it in the other color. So this is Robinson Crusoe from Warengall, which is such a fun color. I picked this one up at Wonder Pens just before Scriptus. I'm just going to ignore the R over there. So this is a I realized that I forgot to name the model. 5.5 inch contoured nib holder. Which is very important because he does do several different models of nib holders. He does this contoured one. He does just sort of one that looks like the standard Kakimori nib holder, which has no contours in it. He does a mini one. I knew that I wanted a contoured one though, just so that my fingers didn't slip down and touch the nib. And I was very happy that the one I happened to find was so utterly me. So it's a steel Kakimori nib and a River City Pen Company nib holder. And I just love how it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun. I'm so happy to finally have one because they're like one of those things that you see everywhere. And I wasn't sure that I'd like it until I had one. But it was also one of those things that like I didn't really want to pay full price for one of these nibs because what if I got it and I didn't actually like it? And so now I know that I actually really like it. And I'm very happy I was able to get the steel one, not the brass one, because my life is slightly too busy for a brass nib. They're just slightly too high maintenance. So I'm very happy that I was able to track down one of the steel ones. Well, I guess I didn't actually try that hard. It sort of just popped up on my Facebook Marketplace, and I looked at it and I went, that looks like one of Rich's nib holders. And then I looked at it a bit longer, and I'm fairly sure this is actually probably one that he made for Tori of Stationery Universe, because this is very much the color palette of nib holders that he does for her. And so I should actually probably reach out to Tori and go, was this one of yours? But I just absolutely adore it. It just looks so magical. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you've got any of the Kakimori nibs or if you've got any nib holders. This happens to be my first sort of hand-turned pen product, and I really like it. It's just so smooth and it's so beautiful. It looks absolutely stunning. So thanks for watching and have a great day.